So what's the difference between an employee and a subcontractor for your home service business or your handyman business? Let's dive into that a little bit. First of all, if you don't know who I am, my name is John. I own Dakota Small Jobs in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We're a professional handyman business, and I also have another handyman business called another custom window treatment business called 605 Blinds. And this is not legal advice, so take it for what it's worth, okay? This is just coming from someone who's been in the game for a little while and has learned a few things. So let's talk about the difference between employees and subcontractors. A lot of times a new business owner kind of gets those two things confused. They want to hire someone as a subcontractor but kind of treat them like an employee. And there's some very clear distinctions between the two, and there's advantages and disadvantages to utilizing either one. Okay, so for someone to be a legitimate subcontractor, they have to be in business for themselves. They have to have their own business, they have to carry their own insurance, they have to have their own tools, drive their own vehicle. You can't hire a subcontractor and then put them in a company vehicle using company tools. You cannot make a subcontractor wear your uniforms and represent your company. Now, you can ask them to do that, and if they want to do that, I think that's fine, but they don't have to, and you can't force them to do it. Technically, they're supposed to do their own scheduling. They're not an employee, so they do all their own withholding of their taxes and that sort of thing. You don't do any of that for them. You pay them per job or per hour or whatever your agreement is. And essentially it's one business hiring another business is really a good way to think about that. Versus an employee is someone that now they kind of belong to the company, if you will. I mean, you don't own them, obviously, but you have to carry workman's comp insurance on that person. They are on your payroll. They do drive your company vehicle because you actually can't tell them you have to drive your own vehicle. You have to use your own tools. So my employees, I tell them, like, if you want to use your own tools, I'm not going to tell you can't, but I make them actually sign a form saying, I understand that Dakota Small Jobs is not requiring this of me, that they're making every tool available to me, and that they are not going to pay for lost or damaged tools due to wear and tear. And so that's 100% up to my employees. If they kind of have their own tool set they want to use, they can. But otherwise, I buy the tools for my employees. The company owns them. The company owns the vehicles, and the employees drive that. They are on my corporate insurance or commercial insurance. And so again, I have to pay. So, they get an hourly rate, but beyond that, I'm paying workman's comp insurance. Recently, I just got them set up with company matching IRA. Eventually, we're going to get into health benefits and all of that stuff. And so employees get those things, subcontractors do not. And hopefully that helps as you hear. I'm sure there's some other nuances that I'm missing in that. But again, a lot of times a startup handyman business wants to think of a subcontractor like an employee and kind of treat them like that and tell them when they have to show up and, here, wear my uniform and all that. And technically, you can't do that. Technically, the subcontractor has to kind of be in business for themselves. And an employee is when they are now on your payroll and you're carrying a lot more of the weight because you are responsible for them on a lot of levels. So hopefully that helps. Let me know if you have any questions. But this video I'm making in response to a few questions I've gotten as of late about how I added to my team and hired, and how you go from having no employees to having employees. What does that look like? So anyway, hopefully that's helpful, and good luck, guys. Keep up the good work out there.